is the internet.
Team. All right, so this is the Cheat Day Podcast. We have an amazing episode for you guys. Thanks for joining us again. Big week. We got 1.2 million views.
Oh, okay.
That's great.
We're doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's self-promotion.
It feels a little bit like we're waxing our own canoes, as it were. Do you know what I mean?
Wax canoe.
Wax a canoe. Waxing my canoe
warm-up.
in public.
And
Publicly wax.
Stavros waxes his canoe.
Waxes.
today we're joined by actor, writer, performer, comedian, Peter Grosz.
Hello.
Peter Grosz!
It's good to be here.
It's so nice to have you.
Hello.
This guy's got real credits, and now he's
He does have real credits.
And this.
Crappy food podcast.
No, this is. I'm
Well,
very
it's nice.
excited.
It's always
I
nice.
know why Mehran's here. He's an actor.
To food? To food. I am an actor. To food. Yeah, what are you? Well, here's the thing. It's like, it's nice to feed someone and like sort of extend the gifts of this show to someone who you actually really like. Do you know
And
what
this
I
is
mean?
the first time that's happened?
And this is the first time. Everyone up until this point has been kind of a
been a
cunt.
nightmare.
And like, and now, no, I
I feel like that was an insult.
love it. It's literally, it's literally
I
at you.
really like.
Every other host of this show is a bastard.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's Peter Grosz. So we get to do this. We get to unpack and hang out with someone that you know him in a particular way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Almost
Your
10
connection.
years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that before I
Sure.
monopolize the conversation?
Well, I first met Peter when I was working on Late Night with Seth Meyers. I'm still working there. Peter was he appeared on air as well as being a writer. Would I also call you a producer for that show?
No, you would not.
Okay.
Good for you.
IMDb would not. Seth would not. No. No, I was just a writer at the time.
Okay.
But I mean, it's not just a writer. Because I got this theory: when good projects take off, I feel like it attracts the best talent.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They find their way some.
Are you talking about us again?
Yeah, clearly that's
I'll just leave.
not a lot of action going on here. I guess that's
Jesus
wonderful
Christ.
sponsors.
Here. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
They shut off the electricity.
Mhm.
So at the time, I wasn't that familiar with Peter, but then I had a chance, because I used to come in early and watch the rehearsals for the bits you guys did, and I was like, wow, everyone here is so funny, effortlessly.
It was a good crew of people.
Yeah.
It was not the funniest of the writers. That would probably be Connor O'Malley, who was just the most anarchic.
Do you agree about
and
this?
insane.
I'm a Connor fan. That's
Okay.
the thing. You know what I mean? When he does something, I want to watch it.
Wild.
But I mean, beyond that, obviously, Peter went on to great successes. But did you start as a writer? I mean, I know you started in Chicago as in improv.
Yeah, I started in Chicago in improv, and I mean, Seth was a friend of mine from college.
College, Northwestern.
Yep, we were in the same college sketch improv group called the Meow Show. That I guess he's probably one of the more famous alumni now, but at the time it was like, oh my God, Julia Louis-Dreyfus was in this thing. I think she started it in the late. I'm gonna out her age, but late.
She knows.
70s. She knows how old she is.
She knows exactly how old she is, and also she's like, "And fuck you." I love her age attitude.
And also, she looks like she's 40, so she has a
yeah.
good leeway to be like, actually, I'm 55.
Another one who's toit.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
fine.
It's true.
And she's nice. And
How do you
she's
look so good? Money.
Yeah. Good genes. But yes, we did that together. And
Were you connected to Second City or IO or?
yeah, at the time, we both tried to get into that group in college, like right from the beginning. And there was a whole crew of people who were a year older than us. And then when they were just a year older. So by the time, every time we auditioned, they were like, no, we're full. And then they all graduated and everything was wide open. And I was kind of scrambling. I was like, I want to audition for this thing, but I have to go take classes somewhere. And then somebody told me to not go to Second City for classes, to go to Improv Living, which had better teachers, I guess, at the time.
That's very.
Are you a Del Close head?
I wouldn't call myself a Del Close head. I took classes with him for like a single level, and he was pretty uninspiring.
Love it.
All right.
I mean, listen, there were a good like 5-6 years where, maybe not even that long, where Del was like really phoning it in. And it wasn't like, oh, he was on heroin, because I think he could be inspiring when he was on heroin. And I don't know if there was a time that he wasn't.
That past, you were like,
I know nothing.
He was always on heroin. He's just lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was on lazy. That's what he was on. He had a bad work ethic.
Well, and I think at that point, like anyone who does anything for a certain amount of time, like you can't imagine that it's always going to be a certain springtime of you doing it.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Even like artists that you love, like musical artists, are like, an album kind of sucks. So I was in like the bad Del period, and he picked it up a couple of years after I was there, and like right almost when he was about to die, he had a real like burst of energy. So I'm not a huge Del Close head, but I had really great teachers, and Seth and I both took classes there, and we had other friends that we met, and that was a really good experience. And then I worked with Seth at Boom Chicago in Amsterdam.
You were there too?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Amber was there. Amber Ruffin.
Oh, wow.
There's been a lot of good people. Jordan Peele, Ike Barinholtz,
Wow.
Josh, Mikowski, Jill Benjamin.
There seems to be like
Brendan Hunt, Jason Sudeikis.
an incubator for,
It's in the Netherlands.
Is it really in the fucking Netherlands? How do you end up in the Netherlands?
It's like Second City, essentially, in the Netherlands. It was started by... did you know that Amsterdam is the Netherlands? Did you know that Holland is the Netherlands?
No.
Did you know that Dutch people live in the Netherlands?
Do they make you wear wooden shoes?
They do! And it's so uncomfortable and everyone loves it. No,
They love it.
It was just like, it was started by a group of people who actually had gone to Northwestern and did the Meow Show and stuff and did the Paralympic. And they just went to Amsterdam once. They were super high on a trip after college, and they were like, "We should do improv here."
It's so cheap.
And
Everyone rides bikes, so they have less excuses to miss the show.
Absolutely. And you can there's constantly like tourists coming through, and there's like weed tourism, so you get a lot of
those people went to Amsterdam, they got laid, and they were like, we should do this here all the time.
Yes,
that's all that happens.
It's basically like there's so many ideas you have when you're high that like sober you're like, that was a stupid idea. And this was the one very good
But improv
idea.
and absurdist comedy lends itself to that.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
there's something about just like going out and doing something that doesn't make sense with balls.
But what a wild swing, you're thinking, you're like, yeah, people are going to come to Amsterdam for improv.
Well, I mean, why not?
Because you're there for drugs and hookers. That's why people go to Amsterdam.
And that's, drugs,
That's
hookers,
when they
and then if
used
you
to
wanna
go.
ha-ha,
Now they come
Yeah.
for the improv. It's improv students from Baltimore save up all their money to take a third-class steamer trip over to Amsterdam.
But it was like a known thing. So here's the good thing about me is that I know absolutely nothing about the industry that I work in or who the people are or the
good.
players. I know nothing, right? And I'm not even interested. I'm
Most
not even that,
Jews that
I'm
you
not-
see are in it.
I'm not that curious. That's great.
Kiss their ass.
That is a comfort. I live in the Upper West Side, so I'm going to be shaking a lot of
Either
hands,
lawyers, performers, agents, something.
kissing a lot of babies.
The building.
Yeah.
But the comedy cell.
Jewish star in the window. Oh my god!
exactly.
I thought that was like a pita bread, like a way to slice. All right, so here's the thing. At what point do you know that like you want to become a haha person, such that
What I go for? I went for. I thought it was Amsterdam. I went for the hookers.
Nice.
No, I went for. I didn't know. I went on I visited, and I thought there's a lot of different stuff going on here. There were like somebody was like, "There's a school of education. There's a school of there's like tech stuff."
It's a great school.
They were like, "There's performing arts stuff," and I thought, okay, maybe. But like, I didn't do plays and stuff in high school. I did one play in high school, the senior class play, where like everybody just gets a part and everyone does stuff. But it wasn't like a major thing of mine. But I think I must have been turned on by something about it. I didn't know Chicago for Second City, which is crazy because I was a huge Saturday Night Live fan. I would like watch it, tape it, videotape it, play it back, and just write the sketches out.
Wow.
I loved stand-up when I was young. I would watch like every Young Comedian special. I knew like all these people, and I had like I'm like one of the few people who hasn't done comedy forever stand-up, but I talk about like I know who Bobby Slayton is. I know who like all these like older comics were. I just was like super into it when I was 10 years old.
We're right around the same age.
I think so.
We are
20,
30,
21.
31, 30, 31.
Yeah. No.
Well, I'm 48, so that's my
Okay. 46.
early 80s were my
But how old is
jam.
your face?
How old is my face? I mean, I resurface it constantly.
Yeah.
These are fresh
Recent.
cells. Yeah. Okay, so then you end up at Northwestern and you are studying what? You're like you commit to what as a major, not that major.
Nothing at first.
Good man.
First whole year, nothing.
Yeah.
And then I thought I was like, I'm going to be a psychology major. I don't know what the fuck I was
Sure.
doing. And then I found out about this school of speech. I was reminded it's like performing arts, full theater major, radio, TV, film, which is a film major, communications. Like you could study communications, which really,
What is that?
It's nothing. It's
Teleprompter reading.
That's actually what I have a degree in.
Pointing at a brief. Really?
Well, it's like I don't know. It's like everything that kind of has to do ancillarily with like media. Like you could be like, people would go from that like into advertising or marketing and stuff. So I basically went to the dean of that school and I was like, I don't like not knowing what I'm doing. Can I be a theater major? And she was like, so here's what theater majors have to do. Every day they have a theater class where every single day with the same people for their entire 4 years of school. At this point, I was going to be a sophomore. So it would have been 3. She's like, you have to wake up at like 8 in the morning. You have to study like the Greeks and all this stuff. And I was like, I'm going to stop you right there. What's another option that is not that? And she's like, you should be a radio, TV, film major. So that's what I did.
Amazing.
So they call it RTVF. And now finally with like podcasts coming out, am like in radio formats.
In a sense.
For years, no radio. And like some filmmaking and some TV, like writing and stuff like that. Just like a general film major was what I ended up in. That's what I landed in.
See, I'm riveted by that.
And then I thought I was going to be a photographer for a little bit.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, creative is creative. You're gonna it comes out in different ways. Were your photographs funny?
No, they were funny. They were like
What kind of photographer?
like street photography stuff. That's what I liked.
Mm-hmm.
I liked, photographer.
Yeah, the poor.
doesn't
I would
mean
take take non-consensual photographs of the poor.
Yeah. I mean, like street artsy stuff for my own stuff, and then just upskirts for money.
Yeah,
Selling,
absolutely.
upskirt photos and videos and stuff.
This is in the early days of the internet, so it was like, you know what I mean. They had to get it somewhere.
Yeah, where it would take like a long time for something to load. Well, there's the top. Here comes the bottom.
Yeah.
And then I was like a nothing. I would do improv shows. I would like wait tables. I catered. I like was a temp at the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. I just did like a bunch of little tiny things for little bits of money. And if you threw them all together, it like kind of made a salary. And then,
but you end up in improv enough that you are willing to move to the Netherlands for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's a
job. That's the thing is it was a job. Because before that, it was all those little bullshitty things.
Yeah.
I also was a photographer's assistant where I'd make like $60 for a whole day, loading his camera, like in that bag and like unloading it, because it's like the light bag. You don't want to expose the film to the sunlight. And then, I auditioned for this Boom Chicago, and they were like, we'll pay you, you'll do 4 shows a week. You get paid. There's no like health insurance or something. But it's like, I'll go audition for that. And then I got it. And then I was like, I don't know if I want to do it. And Seth and I both got it together. And he was like, I'm going to be really disappointed if you don't do it. And my dad, who was born in Europe and was an immigrant and moved here in his 20s, was like, you have to go. There's like, you'll be living in another country for 6 months. Like, you have to go.
Yeah.
That. So then
it's like a seminal developmental experience. It's a good thing.
Oh, yeah. It's exactly the kind of thing where, like, if my son asked me something like that at that similar age, like it was 23, I'll do it. There's no way you're not doing it.
You have to do
forcing
this.
you. I will chain you to me, and we'll fly over there together, and I'll drop you off. Because it would have been a big thing to miss out on. It's one thing to audition and not get it, but I got it. I should have gone.
I have questions. Do you have a question? I don't want to, because I will jump right. Okay, make it weird. Yeah. What is it? Like you're there for 6 months,
yes.
Right?
You were only there for 6 months?
I was. Some people, that was at a time where they were only doing shows over the summer. And then right after I left, they started having a full year-round theater. And so it was like April to November.
When you say that, like, you would insist that your son do this, right? What about those 6 months make it this thing that you would absolutely insist that someone else do?
Just like all the drugs and sex, I think that Ryan was talking about.
Is that true? Is it drugs and sex?
I mean, it can be.
Well, I don't know.
That's not what I loved about it.
Okay.
For the purposes of the podcast, I'm a big Vermeer fan.
Honestly,
transit system.
Windmills. I love a windmill.
The clogs that you were talking about earlier.
A cobbled hat.
Just the proximity to Belgium was just riveting. When are you ever that close to Luxembourg? No, it was great. It was the performing experience. It was having to be on stage 4 nights a week. The getting paid is great because you have an extra level of pride, when you get paid versus when it's for free.
Absolutely.
Which is what it was in Chicago at the time. It was all free. But then it's like you don't even realize it day to day, but the repetition makes you better. And it was like when you're a performer and you have to work all day at a temp job or you have to wait tables and like balance all that stuff out, you're kind of only half living the life that you sort of want to be living. And this was like, you don't have to wait tables, you don't have to do anything. In fact, you can't. You're in another country, you can't just walk in and get another job.
Right.
So you have to do this. And it was like that element of it, at that young age, like it was still at a time where your brain is forming, and it was exciting.
That's magical.
It was magical.
I believe
extremely lucky.
And then
Extremely lucky. And I went with my best friend at the time. It was like, great. I know.
I mean,
I have no bad stories that have ever happened to me.
Yeah, no, right? It's just been one charmed experience after another.
No, we just started with my luckiest thing. But
And then you moved to New York? What happened?
no,
after
I went back
that?
to Chicago.
I would imagine when you're in, Amsterdam, you're probably worried about your future and what you're going to do when you move back to.
I mean, a little bit, right?
I was a little bit.
Oh, shit.
Well, what's funny was when there were definitely times past that, after I had already come back, there were people, like I would help them audition for new people, and there were people who were like, oh, I'm kind of in track to like maybe next year be an understudy for the Second City Touring Company, which is no money. You only make money when you do a show. But they were so precious about like their little spot in line, which, as comics, like I'm trying to get into this club, and like if I do this here and I just show up enough, I'll prove to them that it's like any career though. You have to like be in the place where you want to be doing your career.
That's true.
It became a thing where people were like, I don't know if I should go. And then everybody who went was like, oh my God, I'm so glad I went. Because that spot is waiting for you when you get back in a year or 2 years or whatever. And you've grown. But I came back, I was like an understudy for the touring company.
Did you ever climb the ladder at Second City and become, is that the big one, the main stage or the touring company?
Did. Yeah, the ladder is like the touring company. There's 3 touring companies. You tour around, you do like performing arts centers if you're lucky. It's a lot of colleges, a lot of like in a room that shouldn't have comedy in it, where like this is the light.
It's like that's what's about Connor is that you guys had touring experience, which I think, you always meet those people that were like, I don't know, I just went to college and then I was in Second City and now I'm on TV. Like, there are those people. But then there's the people that are like, I did improv on a cruise ship, and you're like,
oh, totally. Yeah.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
You can see the emotional scars on their soul. You got it.
Yeah, there's parts of it that are fun, but when you're like, I did a show that was not fun for a living, a lot. Like that's like part of
that's the job.
Then that makes you appreciate the times you're like, that was fucking great. Touring was generally fun, but also like you could be with people you hated. You could do a show at like a Christian college where they're like, no sex, no cursing.
Oh yeah.
No, like, and then you'd be like, I guess we're just doing all improv stuff where we're all going to be like, I don't know, like Partridge Friendly Kids. Or like, what characters can you play?
Just to put this out there, I did a show at a Catholic college where they had in the rider they were like, you can't say Pope, condoms, or abortion. And literally the first act was this girl who had just started doing stand up, and she went on stage and was like, Pope, condom, abortion, like in the most kind of like, I'm not supposed to say this, don't say this, don't say this. And then she said all 3 of them.
Oh my God, I said all.
None of you were getting paid. Like, they, in that moment, they had to,
I did a showcase in LA, and I had to go to, I think, New Mexico the next day. And it was a late night. I missed my first flight. I finally get to New Mexico, and I walk in to do the show. I'm sure I look like hell. And they go, we just want to remind you, you signed a morality contract. And I'm like, no, I do not.
Yeah.
And then I read it real quickly, and it was like, you can't say gay. You can't use any slang.
This is the modern Florida version.
Yeah. you can't.
It is the modern.
Yeah. The student body was very liberal, and there were clearly gay couples in the front row that wanted me to notice them.
You don't know that, Ryan.
They were holding hands, and, like, waving at me, like
they could have been Iranian.
Mention us. Yeah, exactly. We're just like Middle Eastern.
They could have been
Pakistani. Guys that hold hands.
Could have been
very good friends.
Yeah,
because they can refuse payment. So I was like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah.
After the show, I'll do a ton of jokes about you.
It's amazing.
It's really funny.
So then, when does it become New York?
It becomes New York. So then I do Second City. I was lucky again. I got on the ETC stage, which is there's 2 theaters. The main stage is like the main one. The ETC is the smaller guy. But then I moved to New York to write for the Colbert Report, which was 2007.
The Brandy Smith
show.
You did, but wait a minute.
Very early on, I was Peter's. So there was a guy named Pete Dominic.
Yeah. Pete was there when I was there.
I was Pete Dominic's. He brought me in as his backup.
Oh, that's great.
And the tape I got from that, I actually used to get a Seth Meyers audition.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You
Look at you. We were linked in
You
all
two
these
are
weird
very.
ways. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried to talk to him on set. He just big-leagued me.
Hold on a second.
I met him
actually.
I met him when he was big league in my heart, especially. We'll get to where I'm literally
Where we
just
met.
building to the point of where I'm like, I can't wait to meet this human.
Oh, that's very nice. We
Yeah.
had a very fun first night.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that moved me to New York. Was the Colbert, and then I worked there for 3 years, and then I stopped, and I moved to LA for a couple years, and then I moved back. And soon after I moved back, I started working for Seth.
And Colbert put you on in some sketches. You're getting camera
I was in
time.
some stuff. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was really fun. And I mean, the whole time I was at Second City, and the whole time I was at Colbert and at Seth, I was doing those Sonic commercials. So I had like a thing that I was doing that was happening, and just this is like, you know. I give like career advice to people sometimes where they're like, my son graduated from something. Can he call you? And I'm like, he can. But like, what am I going to be like? Hey, get like a commercial that runs for 18 years.
A commercial that
Yeah.
runs for 18 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, everything else is figured out.
Do that.
That is comfortable.
That's my path. I mean, but I didn't. So,
Amazing.
Yeah. So I was able to like.
Did you ever go to
Yeah.
I auditioned for SNL when I was in Chicago. Because our agents in Chicago would be like, hey, SNL's looking, let's put you on tape. And it was literal tape. And you'd go like bring your 3 characters and 3, impressions. And they would put you on a tape, and they would combine like, it was called Grossman Jack Talent. They would, put all of their people on, all their Second City people, who were all very funny. But then my image was like Lauren getting like a tape. Oh, it's a tape from Chicago, and just opening up out of the like brown paper thing, and then just throwing it right into the garbage. Yeah, I don't know if anyone ever.
They've gotten a lot of people from Chicago, haven't they?
They did
I don't
eventually.
know.
Well, Seth was in Chicago
Julia.
at the time. Yes, Julia. Sudeikis. Although Sudeikis wasn't in Chicago. I don't know. They get people, but it's just like not from a tape that you make, at your agent's office. It's like someone's got to see you do something interesting. You know what I mean?
Well, still their goal. I mean,
it was fun to do, but it wasn't like if someone's like, "Have you ever auditioned?" I'm like, I don't know. I guess I've like the way people audition for American Idol by like taping themselves and like emailing it to AmericanIdol.com. That's not really auditioning.
and then so when you left Seth, what did you go on to do?
When I left Seth, I didn't have anything immediately, but ultimately, the next big thing I did was the President Show with Anthony Atamanuik as Donald Trump.
I ran into the two of you together on the Search Party set.
Yes, that was so
I
fun.
had just wrapped, and you guys were coming in. That was the two of you. Like, that is the thing, though. You end up kind of like swimming with a school of fishes, and you keep running into them over and over.
Yeah, it is
that-
interesting. Well, I think that they also cast us on that episode because they were like, oh, they know each other, so let's put them in the same scene.
I believe that. Yeah.
And my brother in that scene was Joey Slotnick of originally the Single Guy fame, but lots of other amazing things. And he's a brilliant actor, who's done a lot of stage stuff. But for like 20 years, people have been like, are you guys brothers? And then we got cast. Because also a lot of people are like, he's the other Jew I know. Are you guys related?
I mean, there are only so many of you in entertainment.
That's very true,
There's
as we
only-
mentioned earlier.
Right, they have to. So then, the President Show. And how long did that go for?
It was a year of like a weekly show, and
Uh-huh.
then we did 2 specials in 2018. So it was sort of 2 years, but consistently, the biggest consistent part was 2017. But yeah, it was. I helped Adam, Pally, and Anthony pitch that. So I was one of the executive producers, and then they were like, "You should play Mike Pence," which I never thought I would do. I just thought I would like help write, and we pitched it to many people, and Comedy Central bought it, and they were like, "Of course, Pete would play Mike Pence as his like sidekick," and they were like, "Sure." And I was like, okay, great, that's fine. Which a friend of mine was like, "You're the Mike Pence is the." It was like, you're the bagel to Mike Pence's corn muffin. That's what she said about me. I don't look a fucking thing like Mike Pence.
That is beautiful.
Very well said. So I had to like put I had a bald cap, I had a white wig. Mike Pence is like a linebacker. He's kind of a big guy.
Sure.
And I'm pretty, I'm like a...
You're a lean machine.
I'm not a lean machine.
I would say lean
piece
machine.
of shit.
I'd say lean
But
machine.
anyway, they like puffed me up.
It's all the suit. It's the suit.
It was the suit, yeah.
It's the suit.
Yeah, except for Anthony. He'll tell you he was wearing a fat suit, but he was...
And then when do you get Veep?
Veep was something that I auditioned for when I was living in LA, which LA was kind of a wash. Like, I had a lot of friends out there, but no big thing happened. And then my family, we just kind of decided to move back. But LA Veep was the thing that happened when I was in LA. I was able to audition in person, and with Julia in the room at the callback, which was pretty great, improvising with her. And that was amazing. I had never met her before, but she was wonderful, and so that was pretty big.
It's my favorite.
Is it?
It's my favorite thing in the entire world.
Did you like try to play the angle better? You're like, oh, it's me.
Did you? I hate you. I hate you. It's so real. It's too fucking real. It's too fucking real.
My favorite that you did that. I don't know if I knew that.
Wow.
You went to Northwestern,
Right?
Wait, so you were born on February 10th, 19th.
Me and my best friend Seth. We were just started.
I happen to have this tattoo. It says
JLD plus BEG.
Yeah. Meow.
I just walked in and said hello to everyone. I said meow to her.
Meow.
It's
like Illuminati greeting. But it's literally my favorite thing.
That's really good. Another thing I was very fortunate to get. I cannot speak to I can't take any responsibility for other than the shit that I did, but I think it's a brilliant show.
I can't imagine being that good. So I am a person full of resentment. Every day. I travel through this world. I spit in the eye of everything I observe.
You did that to me earlier.
I expectorate. I'm a nerd. So, but then Veep is like, it's just such a lozenge for the bitter spirit. It is so artfully hateful.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
In every frame. And it delivers, but like in a way that leaves room for it to be funny. It's not just like, it's not a rampage of hate. It is hysterically funny.
Yeah, it was pretty brilliant.
And you are very good at this.
Well, thank you.
He is exceptionally good at being a bastard where there's room for it to be absurdist and amazing and funny.
That is nice.
Well, he also plays a good agent too. Like he did Comic Con's Cop Show, which you're also playing an agent this time around on Broadway.
No, I'm playing a
Do you only play agents?
I'm the president of NBC.
Oh wow!
Based on a real guy, Bob Sarnoff. I mean, not based on it is a real guy, Bob Sarnoff. So Jews, agents, and just bad people. So I got to play like a child molester once, and I was like, this is such a bad extension. Was
it a funny child molester?
No, it was an audition. It was for that show Nosferatu that was like Zachary Quinto was on.
Oh, so good!
Reading the audition, I was like, this is a terrible person. All because I played this one bad guy on Veep, and now I'm like, you know what he would be good at?
Oh shit!
But so you're going to be on Broadway, and I love the fact that you were never in the high school play. Take that, theater dorks!
No, I wasn't. I was in one. I was in the senior.
You wasted your time.
Why are you looking at me? Why are you staring me down?
Oh my god! Let's look at this food, and then I'll get.
All right.
I'll get back to
yeah. So
this is insane.
You had chosen like chicken parm or eggplant parm. I just sent whatever you sent me to my chef.
Okay.
Oh my
Raph,
god!
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
He's gonna tell. I don't know what he made. He's gonna tell.
Okay, that's fine. Some parm.
I had a baby breakfast in preparation for
I had a very tiny breakfast.
Yeah. What is so wait, you what did you pick for your cheat day meal? You said chicken parm, eggplant parm.
Chicken parm was my thing, and then I was like, it could be eggplant parm, or it could be meatball parm. Just the
so nice. He kept going.
Yeah.
At least not trouble. And finally, he's like, "Can I just bring something?" I'm like,
is that true?
Yes. He's just like he's
That's not a bad idea.
Bring something.
That's not a bad idea. Like one day, have them bring in their like what they themselves would get from like whatever trash bin that they get their cheat day food from. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like bring in your version, and then we'll put it up against Rab's. That might be fun one day.
That is a good.
Well, I mean, he's incredibly nice, and that's his reputation.
He is exceedingly nice. We haven't even gotten to that. Nice. Even that finger.
I put the wrong finger.
You're
number one.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
I don't know what we're looking at here.
Breaded meat, saucy, cheesy. That's your thing. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, that really is.
The fuck is going on?
Oh my god, this looks amazing. The bread looks amazing. It looks like there's some spicy
Oh wait,
sort of.
a million napkins. We need a million napkins.
Yeah, that's true.
Like a million.
Okay.
1 million. Okay, no, we got them.
Got it.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So,
All right.
give
All
me
right, not waiting.
a little information.
Just
on
talk
the
for
sandwich.
it.
I want to know first before I throw this down.
Yeah, so it's just a chicken parm. Very, very simple.
Mhm.
A lot of different layers of love in there as well.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, so the chicken is it's fried with a little bit of Parmesan in the breadcrumbs.
Okay.
We have a late summer tomato sauce, some pesto, and
That's the
then
pesto. That's right.
tomato sauce.
also some mozzarella and some stracciatella.
Some what?
Stracciatella.
So it's like
What's that?
burrata,
Oh, really?
but it's in.
Oh fuck! Minority.
very,
I
very
already
juicy.
hemorrhaged onto
Very careful.
onto the tech.
Oh my god.
And then we got some lambrusco, very nice Italian table wine to go with
Oh
it.
come on!
Now,
There you go.
Lambrusco, is it?
Is there lamb in it?
Is there lamb in it? Because
Yeah, it's a
I
lamb.
want a lamb parmesan.
Yeah.
Is it carbonated or fizzy a little bit or something?
Yeah. So it's a
Cheers,
sparkling Italian red table wine.
I mean-
I think it goes very well.
You're right. It should be every day, right, Mehran?
I agree. I can't believe we're not doing this all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
This isn't just, you know what I mean? Like every day, hey, let's meet somewhere. Have Raph come over.
What other podcast feeds you?
Oh my god, this is amazing. I'm thrilled.
I am actually rather pleased.
This is exactly.
So what did you say again? So there's like 2 different kinds of cheese. There's like a happy pesto in there. There's a late summer tomato yakety yak.
Yeah. It's a late summer tomato sauce. So it's like a little bit
Oh,
more on
dad.
the sweet side.
Dad.
The
Why
fry,
is the chicken so meat?
The fry
so
on the
moist?
chicken is fantastic. Hand fried? You don't deep.
No, I actually deep fried.
You did.
Yeah. It's
That's why it's so crispy.
Is it
Really
a
delicious.
thigh?
Yeah. They were brine
That
last
never
night.
happens. Brined it and
Yes, sir.
fried it.
Oh my god.
That's the move because then you taste it. There's salt on the inside, so it's really.
I'm gonna
juicy.
keep it real. Chicken parm is also very much like a fatty boy go-to for me.
Yeah.
But the city of New York has somehow turned me off to chicken parm.
No.
Well, you have those shitty pizza spots.
Do you know what I mean? Like I struggle to find a place where the chicken stays moist like this.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know what I mean? And this is the moisture. Do you know what I mean?
We're trying to keep moist.
It is echoed in me, that moisture.
I like the idea of pesto on there too.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go like if it's some people just like throw basil on, which is fine,
Yeah.
but then it's kind of not everywhere,
Mhm.
and then it's also hot basil is nobody's
Yeah,
favorite thing.
Yeah,
adds
yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit of acid to the sandwich.
Yeah.
Keeps it.
Hot basil. Talk about it, Peter. That's so
Hot
true.
basil.
That like wet, like that wet wilty leaf that ends up in your mouth.
You know my least favorite thing, which is on the other side of the world,
Oh, that's nice.
but wet.
I like that you scooped out the bread.
Oh, you did scoop out
must
the bread.
must
Of
happen
course.
Wait a minute, I'm going to take a picture of that so that
because
I
that
can
is
do it on my
important.
own.
You are a very thoughtful man, Raph.
Absolutely.
I love you. You
Brilliant.
fucking wonderful bastard.
I hate when you get like dumplings from a Thai place or Chinese place, and they just throw like wet lettuce underneath, and between the restaurant and your house, it just gets like soggy,
Yeah.
soggy and brown.
Yeah.
And then you
Fucking
like,
works.
yeah, you open up, you're like, I'm excited for these dumplings,
Yeah.
and there's like these like
Yeah.
deformed lettuce hostages. It's so gross.
Deformed lettuce hostages
Oh my
is
god, it's disgusting.
There's
My
like
aesthetic.
random fried stuff from a diner as well when it comes in like 3 a.m. and there's
Yeah.
weird lettuce underneath.
yeah.
There's no reason.
There's this accelerated putrefaction.
I still
Yeah.
eat it. But I'm like,
I'm
not happy about it.
I don't like this.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you deserve this. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah, like there should be like
Wicked
functional,
sight.
edible, either a garnish that's like just the sprig of parsley,
Yep.
or something that you're going to eat, but not like, yeah.
Yeah, or something that'll
Yeah.
stand up. You know what I mean? That isn't
Yeah.
going to die in the container. But
How long
god
did you
damn
make
it.
this?
Yeah, talk to.
So this one took a little bit less time than usual. It's just like the tomato
Motherfucker.
sauce, the pesto, and then just
God damn.
bread and the chicken.
It's
That's
nice.
all.
It's really nice. I worked in a pizzeria for 8 years, so.
I haven't had
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
I haven't had a chicken cutlet this delicious in a
The
minute.
pizza
cutlet
place on
is
Long
awesome.
Island? Oh god, I delivered pizza for 8 years, man. That
You
was-
delivered?
I actually did that. For
I know how to make pizza, but that wasn't very quick, so they wouldn't let me.
It's not easy. It's a really hard thing to.
I would say bigger
Yeah.
plate.
You say what?
Bigger plate because
I know.
I am going to wear this.
Yeah,
I know I'm going to wear this.
And what about this?
No. I
bread?
mean, we have to.
So it's like a hybrid between ciabatta
Mhm.
and like a sourdough. So
Interesting.
yeah, I mean,
Did you make it?
I didn't for this one.
Okay.
I didn't.
Where'd you get it from?
Sullivan Street Bakery.
God damn.
Is that a good one?
Yeah, it's great. It's really, really close to my kitchen too. So
This is
Picked it up.
absurdly good.
Say the name.
Something Good Hospitality is my company,
God
and
damn.
the kitchen's in Soho. We don't really operate out of it. We just cook out of it. But we're currently looking for our first restaurant.
So he'll come to your house and cook for you and whomever, like like a private party or maybe a date. I like the date idea better.
Don't like the day.
And just for free, that's right.
Listen, you're gonna come
What?
over.
Oh no!
We
He told us about like some swingers tried to get in his pants after he fed him.
I just like.
I mean,
if you're gonna cook dinner and then watch us have sex. What?
It was a Valentine's Day little special treat, and they paid me enough where I couldn't really say no.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just fucking weird.
They had him do a handstand, and they painted his balls red, so it looked like a heart.
That was for the third course.
And then
No, it was just it's a really
I feel like you've done that before.
Yeah, you didn't just invent it.
I don't have to paint them. All right.
It's just, I mean, if you look at it this way, like you're on a very, very, very intimate date, and then I am just joining you.
Because it was in their apartment.
And there's so many questions that they're asking me about the food.
I mean, that's
and
yeah.
lunch, and just like
Isn't that sad? Like, it's Valentine's Day and you're going to be like, so, chef, like, imagine, like,
I know they don't have anything better to talk about.
connect with your lover,
Well,
for fuck's sake.
like the sketch would be, and obviously not you, but like you want to do that, but you don't have the budget, so you just get like a pizzeria chef. Just like a Mario.
wow, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, this is delicious. What is it? Pizza.
Yeah. Yeah,
Or you got young Ryan Reiss who was delivering pizza and you locked the door behind him.
I forgot that you were a pizza
wouldn't
delivery boy, and now I have a whole different thing to beat off to.
Oh.
I would never, in a million years, I would never. I want you to know that. Do you know that?
In a million years, I can't.
I can't. I literally, I can't.
Don't
I can't
think
even.
Anyone is confident that in a million years you wouldn't do that.
Well, I mean,
After you go through every other person and all the women in the world, then you're like, all right, Ryan, I've beat off to everyone else.
and you've like assembled fruit and vegetables in sort of in suggestive
Best
ways.
idea I've ever had. Getting the equipment.
This is really delicious. Is this scratching the itch? And you, because here's the thing. Sometimes it'll happen
good.
that you get like the cheap day food that you want isn't necessarily like the elevated presentation of it. This,
Right.
for me, is satisfying in a very different way than when I just open my mouth like the Reach toothbrush
Right.
in and just like dump.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like a bucket of
Everything's going in. A toothbrush. Whatever.
Yeah, you
anything that's there. Absolutely.
I could go to a bodega and ask for a chicken parm hero and just take it and shove it in my mouth.
Yeah,
without
and one.
tasting it.
That's right.
This is the kind of thing that I love so much, and I'm going to.
Do you eat it regularly though? I mean, you're a tiny man.
I eat it.
How dare you?
He's Hollywood thin.
He is camera ready fit.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, which is a thing.
I know.
Do you know how much I have to fight to be shot from the right angle on this? I interviewed like one of my idols, and I saw the tape, and I can't even watch it because it's like.
Oh man.
I know this is definitely doing it for me. I don't eat it that much because I'm frequently disappointed in it. This is something I would eat weekly. If I knew I could get this.
Are you aware? Like, are you?
No. My thing, gastrointestinally, is I can't eat that much, or else I get like
Sickums.
sickums.
Mm-hmm.
So that and I have a fast metabolism. I have my mom's metabolism; she's thinner,
God love her.
and so I could not sit down and eat this entire thing.
I don't think I could.
Yeah, I would never be able to do that.
If there was something
It's
on
like
TV,
it would make me like sick all day long. It was too much.
Yeah, if I were tuned out, if I were stressed out enough, and there was something on television that I could use to like distract myself, it would just disappear. I would just kind of eat
Right.
it
That is really
in
the
this sort of
only way-
space of unconsciousness.
That is really the only way I eat. Like really watching television.
Only right,
fuel.
semi-lucid.
No, I mean I love eating shitty food late at night.
Right.
That's like
It is when
Something
there is something
right.
that happens. The witching hour makes it more delicious.
for sure.
Oh no, I could pound all this food right now.
I know.
Fighting not to.
I actually have that. I have a
it's
similar
really
thing.
different. People have different takes. It's like, but it's your body and your brain. I don't know.
I could eat this over 2 hours.
Yeah, that's true.
I could
actually.
eat that. You know what I
feel
mean?
we're
Like
lying
bite
here.
by bite.
I mean, like, people
I
eat
can't.
slowly. If you eat
If
slowly,
there wasn't
you
a
eat less.
camera and a fucking microphone. Then
No. I mean, like, even there are just certain foods that I could eat a bucket of mashed potatoes. Like, for some reason, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they just sort of take up so little.
Watch me eat a bucket.
I think we
Right.
wouldn't pay for this podcast.
That'll be what you make me and Noah on Valentine's Day.
I mean,
then you just sit there watching the scene. What's in these mashed potatoes? As I'm like,
You're gonna be.
sucking a fork. You're gonna be.
That might be a move.
Yeah. Did you mash these with your hands? Let me smell your
I'd love
hands.
to hear about it.
I want to smell your
You have to
hands.
see it.
Oh, I have to see it.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
can't
God.
tell you about it. I can't tell you about it. You gotta see
I
it.
mean,
I'll show you.
Please tell me.
No, you might be one of our first guests. It'll be very
Really?
happy. Yeah.
Well, tell them.
What?
I'm thinking about shooting there. Tell them.
Where is
It's on and between.
it? It's kind of out of my range, man.
Why?
Where do you live?
I live in Gramercy, but all my business centrally is downtown, so I don't really.
You come up and hang out.
I would come up and hang out with you.
And we don't own the place yet. We had an offer
Yes,
accepted.
it's like 8 rooms, 2 bathrooms, an S&M dungeon. It's
I was
wild.
assuming,
Yeah.
Why is he doing
He,
that?
he brought that actually,
Of course.
but it's
brought
That's awesome, man. Congrats.
That's very sweet of you.
Great.
But I'm back to the first of all, like none of us can stop chewing long enough to actually have a meaningful conversation at this point. I know, but it's like I'm so excited to talk to the guests that we have on, right? And then Raph shows up and gives me like food that is like, I mean, if my
Then you all sit around
If my-
with women
if-
at brunch, like I couldn't eat this whole thing.
oh no, totally no, but I mean like if my stomach had a
It
clit,
took me a week.
do you know what I mean?
That's so weird.
If my stomach had a clit,
You're dropping major.
do you know, which I think is a
Oh,
my
I remember
entry
that song. That was
Yeah.
from The Wiz.
I mean, I feel like it's a t-shirt.
If my stomach had a clit. Just cut from the Wiz. Do you see how ready he is? He's a true wit. I was telling this to my friend on the way here. So then you and I did the show called Uptown Showdown, where we were just like assigned arbitrary sides of an argument. You go up and it's like comedians and journalists and whatnot.
Yeah, but it's usually stuff where it's like wine versus beer, or
Yeah.
like the Stones versus the Beatles, and you just like make an argument, and it's always silly, dumb stuff.
Except the first time he and I did it together, it was Trump versus Hillary.
And it was October
That is,
something of 2016.
Shit.
Yeah.
Very controversial for,
And- but,
a
like-
show of that nature.
It was in the Upper West Side. The overwhelming sort of the belief was that Trump was like a clown run, and that there was no way it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And we were on the same team.
We both picked Trump because we wanted to do the like false praise of Trump. It was very
Yeah.
fun.
Like I did this whole thing on like gold. It was the stupidest thing in the
PowerPoint
entire
with
world.
gold. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
really fun.
look at the gold. And then Peter's. I didn't know what I'm expecting from most actors, right? I don't know I don't know anything about anyone in our industry. I'm an idiot. I think that most actors do not themselves bring wit to the table.
Yes,
They-
straight up actors.
Right? As in people who you recognize from
I mean,
television.
all the actors I know who will hear this, they're all very smart and very
Incredible.
funny.
No,
Like,
brilliant.
the ones I don't know who aren't listening,
Yeah.
all right.
Idiots. But then, so I genuinely, I wasn't expecting much I mean, that's not true because I was a deep and abiding fan of Veep
Yeah,
and
I
loved
think-
your work on it, but I didn't know what he was going to produce. And there's a tape of it somewhere on the internet where during your presentation, he did it by hand. Like most of us do like PowerPointy digital presentations. Peter's was by hand. And it was the most absurdly funny thing I had seen
Thank
in
you.
years.
That was
And
fun.
like, I was falling out. Like I was going a little crazy on stage, laughing at like, because I'm an acid casualty, right? Like I'm very much a hallucinogen baby.
Right.
So when something is coming out that is like, oh shit, like this is wacky thinking, I get very aroused. Stomach clit, pineal gland clit. Am I wrong?
Pineal gland
no,
clip.
no,
It's
no.
very funny.
So it's that. Do you know what I
It
mean?
was
It's
very
very
fun.
that. And so, yeah, you are an absurdly funny person.
Thank you. And right now I'm being very reserved because I just need half of a giant.
I'm gonna fuck this up.
It is also the only podcast with doggy bags.
But to my
Oh
point,
my god, I'm
it's-
going to take this. I love leftovers so much.
same.
This is going to bring me so much happiness tomorrow.
I
I'm gonna
love
be
you.
so
Tomorrow,
happy to eat this.
you're not gonna eat that for dinner.
I just don't know. Listen.
No, I will finish this over the course of a day.
Did you really stop eating until I hit plate? That is
Really?
Inedible thing.
320. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know people who were used to weigh like had like that significant
Fat Hulk,
thing
man.
in there.
There's a fat guy right behind me, like just waiting to come out.
My peak was 336. Are your nipples weird?
My nipples?
Whatever.
That's for use, buddy.
Nipples weird. That's just what God gave me.
Yeah. You got weird nips? But what I'm saying...
Can I get some more of this?
Yeah.
You're not drinking that?
Oh, I'm
You
not.
poured 4.
Obviously, I'm not.
Oh, you're
right?
not. Right.
Do you want
Thank you.
to acknowledge or?
What? We've acknowledged it a million times. I'm a sober person. I went to rehab during Christmas of last year. I'm 9 months sober. I can't drink. I don't drink.
Cheers to that.
Big ears. Cunts. I don't miss it at all.
That's what they say. The second you walk out, you're cured.
Yeah, honestly.
No meetings. No nothing.
I'm fine with it, honestly, genuinely.
Honest. Yeah. It's good for you.
What? Do you know, after 27 years of being fucked up, having like a modicum of clarity, it's fresh. This is new.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the new thing. It's like when I first found painkillers, I was like, ooh! You know what I mean? Like, this is my new painkiller.
category, yeah.
It really is. Like, wow.
Are
Huh?
you taking testosterone?
How dare you? Now you're going to bring up that I'm low T? No.
No. You doing it because you're
We're waiting.
whatever.
No. I'm doing it because I'm incredibly low T. I'm basically hormonally a woman. Oh, yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah. No estrogen, but no. I hate you. God, I hate you. Yeah, I hate you. Fuck you. But,
Did you say hormonally or personality?
oh, my God. Oh, my. You mean your boobs? Your big fat boobs, Mehran? Because you look like you fucking breastfeed beavers. All right. So, but what the fuck?
You're the one that brought up your weird nipples.
Yeah. I'm waiting. It's very soon. It's probably in like the next 2 weeks I'm going to start getting testosterone, which is going to help me mostly with sleep.
Good.
What? You think I'm going to turn into a rageaholic?
How does that
Flip the
correlate?
fucking table.
Huh?
You don't
How
like
does
the
that
angle.
correlate? I don't understand.
It's literally one of the major sort of presentation, like how you know. Like one of the things that like if your sleep is super disordered, and like you've gone off the drugs, you don't drink, you yakety yak.
Yeah.
They're like, let's look at your hormone panel.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Hormone panel.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a most boring discussion
You
show.
know-
Yeah. Are you kidding
Today
me?
we're here with estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, discussing the Middle East.
Watch that sketch.
Hormone panel. They're not even talking about.
That's what I mean. A true wit. A true wit.
It's the dumbest.
You know you can increase your testosterone by doing workouts.
I work out like a fucking animal.
I know, but specific ones for your lower body, like squats and deadlifts.
I literally do squats and deadlifts. I have a torn meniscus.
What does your workout schedule look like?
I work 3 or 4 days a week with an Olympic lifter.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's brutal, and I often can't walk.
So we've been taping this thing for a while. So he knew we taped in the afternoons, and he's like, "I'm always free." And then a week later, he was like, "I'm now busy."
Because that's when you shift.
Yeah,
Workout.
yeah. I mean, it's 7:00 Wednesdays and Fridays for sure, and then sometimes on the
I
weekend.
can't wait until it ends.
What?
I'm at the Crunch on the 70s.
Wait, did I actually name the street the block that I'm on?
Yeah.
Cut the shit, you motherfucker! That's insane.
Yeah, nobody knows 90.
Just keep saying it so it's uncuttable.
God damn.
Every 2 minutes.
There's a new veterinarian on the corner.
Doors
Yeah.
unlocked.
Yeah. Are you kidding? That used to be my fantasy. Do you know what I mean?
Breaking-
Yeah.
breaking
No, I wanted to
I
be.
feel bad for
I wanted to be sexually violated by. That was my. Okay, cut that too.
You got it.
What is that?
No, we can't.
Can you tell me more about that?
nice person.
What? I don't know. There was a guy on the first season of The Apprentice who was like a real gentleman, and I was like, I would, go to jail.
Was it Trump?
No, it wasn't. It was Donald Trump.
Who's Donald Trump?
It was Eric Vampire Trump. It was bloodless Eric Trump. No. Do you know that I actually really want Melania on this show? I really want to feed Melania.
That's food. That's
What? She'll eat something and like make cat eyes the entire time she eats it.
You know,
Oh my God.
there are people that I've asked to be on the show, and they hear food, they're like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they don't want to eat on camera and shit, but they don't want to eat. Period.
yeah, they got their own thing.
People have
Very
food
personal.
issues,
Yeah, I would assume you have kind of a strict diet, or
See, they're so stupid because the move, if you're someone who has like disordered eating or doesn't want to like you want to keep that a secret, so you literally go on a podcast like this, and you're like, "Oh, I love chicken parmesan." You know what I mean? And then like you,
the utensils like your, chopsticks, like
they're like cutting, like making like railroad tracks in the sauce.
And before I go, where's the bathroom?
Yeah, exactly.
Putting on like rubber gloves.
They have like a horse's bag of oats that they're just vomiting into throughout.
This was ever so much fun. I really loved. What was this again? Tell my brain what it was because my body's not really going to eat it. Everybody has some weird food issues.
Oh, that is the thing, and being on camera
food is
makes
like
it worse.
control, right? I mean, like people's food issues are all about like controlling. So being on camera, I can imagine
Makes
people
it
like
worse.
don't
You
want
know
to see.
that. But you don't struggle with that necessarily.
Oh, really? Broadway?
Oh yeah, so this is what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Plug the Broadway.
Yeah.
Plug the Broadway show. So it's called it's Old Calcutta. We're doing a revival of all nude program from
Damn
the
you.
80s.
Damn you!
I grew up in New York, and like we would come in and see shows and stuff. And I remember seeing, I don't even know what Old Calcutta was, but I just remember knowing it was like a bunch of nudity, and I was like, I gotta go see that show somehow. Of course, I didn't want to go with my parents.
Like, I totally get it though. That 1980s pursuit of nude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the poster was like a naked woman's leg and arm protruding after, like over a sheet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's alluring.
Oh, Calcutta.
Online.
Yeah.
Yes, it's definitely worth finding out. So it's called Goodnight Oscar, and it stars Sean Hayes as this guy named Oscar Levant, who was a piano player and a wit. Speaking of wits, from the 50s, he would go on like the Jack Parr Tonight Show, and he would go on other show. He was on like the Groucho, like What's My Line and stuff like that. And he was just funny, and he was an actor, and he was in An American in Paris. He's the guy who's like Gene Kelly's like piano playing buddy. And he had a lot of major depression issues, a lot of like true psychosis, and was on like heavy drugs. But then talked about him in his comedy and was like, "Oh, I'm so there's a fine line between like sanity and comedy, and I've like erased it." Or he had all these like Oscar Wilde-y like quips about how crazy he was. And so the play basically takes place in a night where he's been sprung from a mental institution, which he truly was.
Actually happened.
Shit. He got sprung in real life. He was sprung for something else, but the playwright has taken a bunch of true things and put it all into one night. Where he's sprung to show up for the Jack Parr Tonight Show. His wife got him out for like a 4-hour pass. He's going to be on the show. It's Jack Parr's doing one of those like live from the West Coast type gigs where like when late night shows like they go to Chicago for a little bit
for Spice,
because Parr was in New York. Right, because Carson brought it. Yep. So it was like a week live in the, from LA, and the sort of big like sweeps week thing. So he's one of the guests. So I play Bob Sarnoff, who's the real president of NBC at the time, who's just the hard ass, who's like, he can't, I don't want him fucking with my show. This is high stakes. So I'm on breathing down Jack Parr's neck, and Jack wants Oscar to be like vibrant and funny, and like he wants him to be crazy. And he's also a brilliant piano player, so he wants him to play piano, and Oscar has all his demons, and his wife is there. So it's a big, like, swirling. It's a little, it's not as crazy and antic as, like My Favorite Year. You know how that can be like,
and then there's this roller skating number where they just keep going in a circle. It's just
all naked.
Time. It's Indians, nude Indians.
But it's like one act, very funny straight through, but it's very well. It's not like antically funny, but it's pretty funny. It has a lot of Oscar Levant's like real lines in it, and then the playwright Doug Wright is really brilliant and wrote some other great stuff. And it's just one act. It's not like a 3-hour Broadway musical, so it's 95, 98 minutes or something.
Lovely.
In and out.
Lovely.
Mwah.
Yeah.
God, you go see a 7:00 show. You're up by 8:30.
I just did the other night. It was like I got home at like 11:30, and it was like, come on.
Yeah.
It's a 7:00 show.
We gotta go, man.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I would murder to go. I would absolutely.
It opens in April of 2023.
Okay, and you're rehearsing now.
Ooh, no,
not yet.
Oh,
right. Okay. God, I'm gonna be busy.
When does it close so I can find out if I'm busy?
Yeah.
Oh, it's September. It's gonna be a
I'm
long
getting
run.
work done, so I'm gonna be on bed rest. And
I gotta go back to rehab for 6 months.
yeah. By then I'll have relapsed.
Yeah.
It's safe to say.
God, this
damn
isn't
it.
even wood. Oh man.
Slate.
No, we're going to rehearse in March. So we did the show in Chicago at the Goodman Theater. And there's 7 people in the cast, and 5 of them are going to do the
reprise their roles,
and then the other 2 are not. But so we'll just be incorporating new people, and it won't take too long to rehearse. We'll have a couple weeks of previews, and then we'll open. And
how magical!
And when are the auditions?
The auditions for the part of the African American orderly
mine
are in
mine,
and the young guy in his 20s, PA at the television network.
Also mine. I can do double duty on those roles.
Yeah, you should do both. They're never on stage at the same time.
I'm fresh-faced and ethnic, so. I am ethnic, you motherfuckers.
You're one of those, it's true.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about what's going on in Iran right now.
What's to talk about? I mean, it's a corrupt garbage.
No, Iran.
Oh, sorry.
Big over there. Be quiet.
Sorry about that. No, sorry about that. I thought you said Giuliani.
Mm-hmm.
Who was basically Iranian.
Yeah.
No, it's like it's great to see the chief. Did he get some on him?
Sauce all over his pants.
Yeah. What? It's denim.
We're supposed to.
Oh yeah. Oh, now
It's supposed to be.
see, before I start beating off to Ryan, it's going to be sauce on a leg. I just saw this morning video footage of the chief of the morality police in Tehran just being absolutely beaten bloody. Yeah.
Chief of the morality.
Oh yeah.
Wait, why was
The
he?
chief was beaten by protesters.
Yeah, by protesters, and that's heaven.
And he thought he had a cushy job.
He knows he doesn't have a cushy job, but he thought he had it enforced. He thought he had backup to the nines, right?
And he thought the morality contract psychologist.
Ha ha! Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, I mean when I lived in Iran, I was 9 and 10, and the morality police were real, and we were. It means that at any point or time, your doorbell could ring, and they would come into your house, and they would look for any vestige, any hint of, if you had a glass that might have been used for alcohol, if I had a children's game that had dice for certain books, for a woman with her, whose makeup or she looked too coiffed or too put together. I mean, it was any hint of a party, any hint of.
It's very Handmaid's. What is Handmaid's Tale? I mean, not very.
Do you know what it is? It's that, here's the thing. Revolutions of that nature require stupid people. Right. MAGA would be nothing without idiots, without people who are genuinely borderline illiterate, to have no working knowledge of science or politics or human nature even. They're just stupid people who have to be mobilized to support a fascist coup.
And want to be on the right side.
And they want
the safety in numbers.
Everybody wants to belong, right? And so they are leveraged to create a coup or a revolution. These stupid people. And then the new government comes in and usually assaults education to keep people stupid so they continue having this influx of morons. Now, those morons have to be rewarded. They need jobs. And it's not like they're going to be doctors. They're just idiots. So those morons are then put in positions like morality police or being in charge of some government, right? As in, that it is a place to send idiots.
But it was a very Western. I don't know, equate Western with sophisticated, but there was a modernity in Iran before the revolution. There was people were devout.
Euro Disney was going to be built in Tehran.
Really?
Oh yeah, the plans were for it to be in Tehran.
Was it 79 or 77?
79.
Yeah. Wait, so what years were you living there?
I was there from 76 to 79. My mother wrote an article and put her that was in defense of sort of women and their right to vote. And she called there was a political candidate who said that women should have their right to vote removed. And she said, any man who denigrates the women of Iran denigrates Iran.
Right.
And so she went for his jugular. And then she was put on a list to be executed.
Oh my God.
My brother was learning how to assemble rifles in class, and he was a boy of 13.
So you were a baby.
I was a baby. My parents specifically had me in London to get everyone out 3 years prior because they heard that shit was going to get weird.
Wow.
And and then she was on a list to be
I think you would have been fine over there.
Honestly, they took me back when I was 9 and 10, and I was like a girl. Do you know what I mean? I was.
So why did you go back? Why did they go back?
My parents wanted to give their marriage one last shot, and my father didn't leave the country because he thought that it would all blow over. And
Well, his dad was also big action there, right?
yeah, my dad was a well-known doctor, like had a university, like a wing of a university named after him. He was like dean of that university.
He didn't
for
want
a
to come
while.
here and be a cab driver.
That's exactly. Well, yeah, he would have had to like start over. Like he would have to take like basic English classes. He would have to retake the MCATs. I mean, all of that.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to do any of that, and he actually wanted to come in and trade real estate. And my mother said, "I married a doctor, not a realtor." And
So he would have moved.
He would
and-
have done it. I found that out after the fact.
Oh my God, he
So
could have
mu-
been fucking selling Sunset. He
I
could
would have
been
been. Are you
Straws of
kidding me?
Sunset,
We'd have something. There would be like any like trace of generational wealth. None. Yeah. So he just didn't convert the money. Everything. Like
Now let's talk about mistakes our parents.
I didn't want
Why
to.
are we
I
so fucked up?
absolutely.
Because of the mistakes.
You
our
can't
parents
ask
made.
me about Iran. You can never ask me about Iran. It's like, oh, you want to hear someone hate something? Here we go. Like, it's just the worst.
My dad grew up in Romania and moved out. You know, like the Billy Joel song. He moved out. He left Romania, running away from it in 1961 and lived in Vienna for a year and then came here afterwards. But he had a deep abiding hatred. But we went back and visited in 1980 when it was still Ceausescu, when it was still just as bad as it ever was.
Yeah.
And we smuggled like paintings out. And my sister and I knew that we were doing it. He learned how to take these old paintings. They were just portraits of his ancestors. He's like, I want them.
They're
I want
important.
the state to own them.
Yep.
So he learned how to put you put like a sheet, like a very thin sheet over the painting. So, because it was from the 1800s. So it wouldn't crack when you rolled it, unrolled it. We put it in like poster tubes. Took a train from Romania out to Yugoslavia.
You have to go
They
by
still had
Romania.
Yugoslavia at the time.
Yep.
And we, we smuggled stuff out, and then at the border they look around and they kind of check and see what's up, but then nobody looked at there.
But that's like a very specific sort of vignette that not every sort of kid has.
Right.
You
Like
know
if
what
both
I
your
mean?
parents grew up in America, you have a whole bunch of different shit that you learn about, but
Yep.
not that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. But my mom grew up in Connecticut, so it wasn't like I didn't have double immigrant parents.
I have the same thing. My parents are both from New York, and they left, and they hate it. They're never coming back.
I get it. Yeah. Are they in Connecticut? Where are they now? Yeah.
Driving to the city, they're like, do you believe this crap? That's garbage.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! This is
Yeah.
like what your friends' parents feel about Iran. That's what we feel about Manhattan.
That's exactly how we feel.
They were so like when
The
we went
lines
to
at
the city,
Zabar's?
They were like, what are you doing?
the revolution that came in.
Really? Yeah.
No, they hated the city.
Yeah.
Where did they live?
My mother was from. Well, first she lived in Harlem,
Mm.
125th and Broadway.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Like my
From Ireland.
literally my
Like
favorite
right
place
where
to
the
shop.
Apollo is. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's also where George Parm grew up.
Yeah. Right. That's right.
And then her family moved to the Bronx, which was like, you guys are really back 1,000 years.
Wow.
And my father's from Rockaway, Queens.
Oh, that's funny.
Wow.
But in the Bronx, too, like another Irishy neighborhood.
Yes, in the Bronx, yes. But for Rockaway, my father's side of the family, Jewish Lower East Side,
Okay.
moved out to Rockaway.
Oh wow! And that was like, hey, we made it out of the Lower East Side.
It was,
was it a
little more
community?
sketchy than that.
Oh, okay.
As the story goes, my grandfather was Shylock, and Meyer Lansky was organizing the Lower East Side.
What's a Shiloh?
A loan shark.
Okay.
And my grandfather didn't want to be bossed around by any
Jewish monster.
pretty much. He didn't want to take orders from Meyer Lansky, but
Wow.
he had a big family. He had like 8 brothers and sisters, so they didn't know exactly. He mistook his brother for him, and they kidnapped his brother. So that was when so my grandfather was like, yeah, because Rockaway would have been like it was the country. There was no one
Yeah,
there.
sure.
It was just weeds and beach.
So he was just hiding.
Where in the state did you grow up?
I grew up in Scarsdale in Westchester.
In Scarsdale, Westchester.
Mhm.
Okay. And what was that? What do we take from that?
So Scarsdale,
Yeah.
money.
money. Yeah, I
Money.
mean Scarsdale is
Yeah,
just like it's like one of the better off. I don't love that I grew up there, but I don't begrudge both my mom and dad deciding like we deserve to
Yeah.
raise our kids there. You know.
What's wrong with
Well, she was born like very poor, and my dad was born in another country and had like multiple different like fascist and communist regimes like come in and take shit from him. So they were doing.
We
what
have
was
similar
right.
backgrounds.
I mean, you should. Who cares? It's the point.
No, it's just more like I love my friends that I grew up with, but I wish that we all grew up in a different place. Just like because like all the bullshit of like
Yeah, but
you
you
have
can't-
to go to like the best possible schools and look at everybody's cars and like
Yeah.
all that materialism. I know, but that specific brand of it, you're like, I would trade that in for something a little
Enclave
less.
there's an annoying factor to it. There is an annoying factor.
It's annoying to go back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's annoying to
never
like
go back.
tell
You go
people
back.
like this is where I'm from. No one's like, oh great, that's so interesting. You're from like the town with the nicest school in the country. That's wonderful.
The freaks that I got in my moneyed white suburb are like they're still part of my chosen family. Like and none of us were the richest family in town by any stretch.
I feel like if you grow up in a situation like that, then you know once you're in an actual city, you can appreciate all the culture and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's true. You came out of it more literate than some schools turn out their kids.
And also people go back. I mean, there's lots of people that I know that live in Scarsdale again, and I'm like, I don't understand. I guess they just love it. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
it's not.
It's the same reason anyone goes back to where
if you're told to work
grew
it
up.
really doesn't matter. Like a friend of mine that I went to high school with, his family owns. You know Gino's Ices?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
It's also pizzerias, but his family owns that.
Wow.
Like, he didn't have
That's
to
big.
work.
Yeah.
They made him work in every facet of that business.
Yes. I had a job when I was 15.
What was
It
it?
was illegal.
What was it? I love an illegal job.
It was.
He was a hooker.
Right.
There was a certain class of gentlemen
I
in
had an
Scarsdale.
uncle. Yeah, I had an uncle.
Yeah. I like swept up a coffee.
I worked in a massage parlor, and
Yeah.
this woman, Ghislaine. Uh-huh.
No, I worked. I would just like work like sweeping up and like stocking, not a coffee shop, but like a coffee store. It was like a food place that you would go in and like buy coffee beans and stuff like that.
When were you able to get out of there? What age?
I went to college, and then went to Chicago Northwestern. And I stayed. Also, the other thing that's for me is I stayed in Chicago forever. I didn't like come running back to New York, which a lot of my friends like went to college outside of New York, and then they all came back to New York. Which I kind of feel like I missed out on something now that I'm here again, because everyone's like, "Do you remember this thing that happened in like 1999?" I'm like, "I wasn't here." I had a great time.
No, I mean, like, and and it sounds like you landed in a certain track that, like,
yeah, I had my
leads up to today.
my fine.
Yeah,
I know.
honestly.
I'm not.
No, it's exactly
I'm bitching
producer on
about
this
like.
thing and that-
I'm bitching about like just like friend stuff. Like I missed the certain things with like high school friends and stuff like that.
How did you get How did you get? How did you get the Sean Hayes Oscar? The play's
Oscar,
name again?
Good Night Oscar.
Good Night Oscar.
I did a reading of it in. I did
yeah.
a reading of it in November, and then they asked me to be in the cast in Chicago, and then I was, and then they asked me to be in the cast here when it came back.
Well, I mean, very genuinely, I think anyone who gets to watch you do your thing is very lucky.
Oh,
to do
thank you.
So you are exceptionally good at this.
Thank you. I'm
You're-
very excited.
And he's a genuinely funny person. It bothers me. It bothers me how funny he is.
I'll try to be less funny and maybe
Good
meaner.
job. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Well, all right, so let's do some plugs so we can get him out of here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Raph, I want you to tell me what we ate. Tell me about the wine, too.
Yeah, we had a chicken parmesan with a couple of things added in there. We had a lambrusco. Not gonna pretend like I know.
Just go to lambrusco.com.
It's
It's such a pretty bottle.
sparkling red wine. It's fucking delicious. Very, very good for the table.
Very good.
Yeah, and you can find me at Chef Raph NYC. That's on IG. And Something Good Hospitality.
Love the shirt.
New York.
Hey.
I'll get your shirts next week, by the way.
Okay.
I'll send you one.
Great. I'm sure he's going to give me like a woman's medium and then shoot me from the side. He's going to.
It's definitely.
He is. He's going to put. This fucker puts me in a sports bra and then he's like, literally, he's gonna underlight me and then
This is a
shoot.
burlap
I know it. You think a mother doesn't know these things?
in this shirt. Why don't you get my dimensions?
I have yelled at him at like 3 a.m. about
3
this.
Like you called him at 3, or you happen to be hanging out?
Oh no! Like a wall of text. Like you motherfucker.
Get your measurements taken for a T-shirt.
Here.
Custom fitted
Yeah,
T-shirt.
absolutely. Yes, and my weird nipples.
What tailor is going to be like, I'm building a T-shirt?
Like a blueprint for a T-shirt? That's heaven.
Great.
That's wonderful.
Gucci Mehran, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, unlike
Did you pack everything?
Yeah, I mean, basically for now. We got,
Chef Raph NYC.
Yeah, Chef Raph NYC, Something Good
Something
Hospitality,
good.
and got a couple projects in the works. I'll keep you posted for
What
sure.
about the restaurant?
No, so we're currently looking at a location.
Okay.
And yeah, we're gonna kind of merge some good hospitality and an actual functioning restaurant.
Great.
Doing both at the same space.
Nope.
So yeah.
If they get to eat food like this, dude,
Yeah.
like bring it on.
Yeah.
Can confirm.
I'm Mehran. I'm the Mehran on Instagram. I'm Mehran X on Twitter. I mean, I don't fucking use social media, so I don't know why.
But he complains about it endlessly.
I sure do.
But he
Beautiful.
has
Beautiful.
And I'm here at the cellar all the time.
I'm going to be in a play in 6 months. I'm going to be on Broadway. And, I'm in I shot a movie last year called The Menu that's coming out this fall. It's a whole big, like, chef, fancy restaurant
really?
angle. It's pretty interesting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really great. I'm playing a sommelier, and it's written by,
really?
co-written by Seth Reiss, who is not Ryan's
Do you
brother,
give a
but
shit about
works
wine?
for-
Just real quick.
I like wine a lot.
Okay, good.
If you help me in business, he's
Yeah. Yeah. No, I really like food, really like wine. I don't want to be too annoying about, like talking to a professional about, what kind of the cheese? But
It makes him so happy.
but I like knowing about it. I like knowing about it. I
Yeah.
kind of want to know, like, what tomatoes did you use? Like, what else is in the
that's fair,
pesto?
that's fair.
But
Of course.
what else can I plug? That's pretty much it for me.
pretty good.
That's pretty good.
It is, in
I'm
fact,
in a
great.
good spot. I'm good.
And everyone rewatch Veep and everything that Peter
Rewatch
is in. God damn it.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
and buy it on something. Maybe it'll increase my.
I have. I bought
Oh, good. Yeah.
He needs the money. He's only here for the sandwich.
Let's eat this plate. It's really nice.
This is the Cheat Day Show. You can find us on all social media platforms at the Cheat Day Show. My name's Ryan Reiss. It's RR Comedy. We're here at the Comedy Cellar. You can catch me performing Monday nights. Other than that, you guys are awesome. Cheat well.
Yay!
Bye.
Thank you so much,
What
Peter.
a blast.
You gentlemen.
Thanks for listening to the Cheat Day Show podcast. To learn more about our show, the hosts, the comedians, our guests, our chefs, and more, visit our website, thecheatdayshow.com. Also, follow along with us on our social media at The Cheat Day Show on Instagram and Twitter. Future episodes can be found in all the places you get your favorite podcast. Our show is also sponsored by the world-famous Comedy Cellar on McDougal Street in New York City's Greenwich Village. Visit ComedyCellar.com for show lineups happening 7 days a week. Later, cheaters.